Have you ever wondered why two people can look at the same thing and perceive it differently? Welcome to the captivating realm of perception, a cognitive process that decodes our sensory information, translating it into something meaningful. When we perceive something, we're not just passively receiving information, but we're actively processing it based on our unique perspectives, experiences, and understanding. Picture this. You bite into a juicy apple. The taste, the texture, the crunch, your brain interprets these sensory details to recognize the apple. But what if your brain paints a different picture? What if the crunch of the apple sounded like a symphony to you, or its sweet taste appeared as a vivid color? Perception is indeed subjective, varying from person to person, often leading to fascinating distortions. And it's these distortions that we are about to explore, from the colorful symphony of synesthesia to the unseen side of spatial neglect. In the next few minutes, we'll delve into the fascinating world of perception distortions. Imagine tasting shapes, or seeing music in vibrant colors. This is the world of a synesthete. Welcome to the realm of synesthesia, a neurological phenomenon that's as fascinating as it is perplexing. It's a condition where the stimulation of one sensory pathway involuntarily triggers experiences in a different sensory pathway. This cross-wiring of senses is not a mere figment of imagination, but a tangible reality for those living with synesthesia. Picture this, you're in a bustling cafe, the chatter of voices around you, but instead of just hearing these voices, you also see them, each one a splash of color arcing across your vision. Or perhaps you're reading a book, but every word has its own unique taste, each sentence an intricate flavor profile. This is what it's like to live with synesthesia. The types of synesthesia are as varied as the individuals who experience it. Some synesthetes taste words, some see sounds, while others might perceive numbers or days of the week as having distinct colors or spatial locations. To the synesthete, the world is a symphony of intertwined senses, each one enhancing and enriching the other. But it's not all about sensory overload. Synesthesia can also open doors to creativity and provide a unique perspective on the world. It's been suggested that some of history's greatest artists, musicians, and poets may have been synesthetes. Their ability to perceive the world in ways most of us can't even imagine could have contributed to their extraordinary creativity. Synesthesia is not a disorder, but rather a different way of perceiving the world. And while it may seem unusual to some, it's a testament to the incredible diversity and adaptability of the human brain. So, next time you're savoring a delicious meal, listening to your favorite song, or appreciating a beautiful sunset, take a moment to consider what it would be like if your senses were intertwined. What color would your favorite song be? What taste would a sunset have? Synesthesia, a blend of senses, certainly adds a splash of color to the world. Now, imagine a world where half of everything disappears. This is the reality for those with spatial neglect. Spatial neglect is a fascinating and somewhat eerie condition where individuals fail to recognize or respond to stimuli on one side of their space. It's like an invisible boundary splits their world in two. But it's not just about missing half of a movie screen or overlooking one side of a newspaper. The impact can be far more subtle and pervasive. Consider this. You're at a dinner party, and you only eat the food on the right side of your plate, utterly oblivious to the delicious morsels on the left. Or you're in a bustling room, yet you only acknowledge the people standing on your right, completely unaware of those on your left. To an onlooker, this behavior might seem odd, even rude, but for someone with spatial neglect, it's not a conscious choice. They do not ignore the neglected half because they want to, but because they simply do not perceive it. Now, you might be thinking, is this a problem with vision? But no, it's not. Those with spatial neglect often have fully functioning eyes. The issue lies not in the sight, but in the attention and awareness. It's the brain's perception that is skewed, and the person genuinely experiences the world as if the neglected side does not exist. This condition typically arises from brain damage, such as a stroke that impacts the right hemisphere of the brain, which is responsible for spatial awareness. But it's not limited to those with brain injuries. Healthy individuals can also experience fleeting moments of spatial neglect under certain conditions, like extreme fatigue or sensory overload. Spatial neglect is a testament to the power and complexity of our brains. It shows us that perception is not just about what our eyes can see, but also about how our brains interpret and make sense of that information. It's an invisible yet powerful force that shapes our reality. Spatial neglect teaches us that perception is about more than just what meets the eye. Both synesthesia and spatial neglect remind us of the complexities of perception. They offer us a fascinating glimpse into the intricate workings of our minds, revealing that there's so much more to perception than what initially meets the eye. Let's take a moment to revisit the key points we've discussed. Synesthesia, a condition where one sense is simultaneously perceived as if by one or more additional senses, shows us how our senses can intertwine to create unique experiences. Imagine tasting the rainbow as you gaze upon it, or hearing the whisper of a sunset. It's a world that's vibrantly alive and bursting with sensory richness. But it's not just a fantastic phenomenon, it's a stark reminder that our perception of the world around us is deeply personal and subjective. On the other hand, spatial neglect, a deficit in attention and awareness to one side of space, demonstrates how perception is more than just sensory input. It's about attention and awareness too. In spatial neglect, individuals can fail to notice things on one side of their environment, despite having perfectly healthy vision. It's as if half of the world has simply vanished. This condition underscores the importance of our brain's attentional systems in shaping our perception. Both these phenomena serve as powerful reminders that perception is not a passive process where we simply take in sensory information from the world around us. Instead, it's an active process where our brain interprets and makes sense of this information. It's a complex blend of our senses, attention, and awareness, all working together to create our unique perception of the world. Perception is a fascinating puzzle, full of unexpected twists and turns. It's a journey of discovery that takes us beyond the surface of our sensory experiences, plunging us into the depths of our minds, where we explore the intricate interplay between our senses, attention, and awareness. So next time you look at something, remember, your perception is a unique blend of your senses and attention, painting a picture that's uniquely your own. So what do these perception distortions teach us? Well, they serve as a fascinating reminder of the complex beauty of the human mind. They underscore the fact that our perception is not just a simple reflection of the world around us, but a unique construction shaped by our brain's unique wiring and our personal experiences. Synesthesia and spatial neglect are not just quirks or glitches in our perceptual system. They are windows into the intricate and nuanced ways we perceive and interact with the world. They show us that taste, vision, and all our senses aren't just passive receivers of information. They actively shape our reality, painting a picture of the world that's unique to each of us. Through understanding these distortions, we gain a deeper appreciation for the marvels of human perception. We see that our senses aren't just tools for navigating the world, but a rich tapestry that weaves the story of our unique experience. When it comes to perception, there's always more than meets the eye. Remember, your world is as you perceive it.